Hey you guys, it's Moonlighter back with another horror movie review, and today we're going to be looking at a 2017 movie called Hack House. So this movie is available to rent in the new release section of Amazon, and you can rent it for $1.99 in standard definition. So when I went to rent this movie, I noticed it had a 7-point IMDb rating, but I learned from looking at the IMDb website that it's only had 27 ratings to get to 7. So I'm guessing that the cast and crew had something to do with this. And then when you go through the Amazon reviews, I believe it's at like 4.5 out of 5. And I took a look at some of these 5-star reviews. One of them's just 4 emojis. And then a couple of them talk about being a throwback to the 80s. Yeah, I definitely think there's some bogus reviews here. And they actually do have some trivia listed on the IMDb page. I wouldn't say any of it's very flattering. Apparently this movie was started just to keep somebody on an acting visa in the country, and while they were filming this movie, it says he married a woman, and I can only assume that was to get citizenship. And apparently this movie was shot in a 1-bedroom condo. So the movie starts off with a news broadcast where the news anchor is talking about a new proposition where violent offenders that have served 50% of their prison sentence can be transferred to a halfway house. I guess in order to lower the prison population. But anyway, so the main character of this movie is a guy that's arriving for the first time to a halfway house. So when he arrives, the guy that runs it, I guess is a police officer of some kind, takes him around and introduces him to all the residents. And they're everything from like a pedophile to a guy that found his wife had slept with his dad and he carved the word whore into her forehead. So yeah, it's full of lovely people. And for some reason there's one woman in this house, and all throughout the beginning of this movie, you get to watch her being sexually harassed by various residents. Now, on the first night in this house, somebody in a Richard Nixon mask starts slaughtering everyone with some sort of machete. That's pretty much what the movie is, and by the end, you find out why they were killing everyone. And more about the main character's backstory. So the things I liked about this movie is there was some kind of funny parts. When I mentioned how that woman gets sexually harassed, there was a part where one of the creepier, older looking residents decides to poke her in the bottom with his dinner fork while there's still food on it. And I guess if I had to say anything else good about this movie is I could not tell that it was shot in a 1-bedroom condo. I could tell that they were using the same hallway with different camera angles, but yeah, I had no idea. So I would say they did a pretty good job with shooting in a 1-bedroom condo. So the stuff I didn't like about this movie is there is nothing decent or good about this movie. It's all poor to maybe a little bit before okay. And toward the end, there's a couple of fight scenes that I just thought were way too long and they were very boring. Okay, so my final thoughts about this movie is I probably wouldn't have watched this if I knew it was made with the intention of keeping somebody in country or prolonging their acting visa, because that just means it's not like intended for any creative purposes. But I don't know, at the same time there was something strangely entertaining about this movie, but yet I can't say I'm glad I did watch it. So I'm gonna give this movie a 4 out of 10, and I don't really suggest this. It's hard to suggest a movie like this. Alright, you guys, I'll see you on the next review.